look, let's be honest here for a second. When it comes to the NFL, there are some rules that are meant to keep players safe, rules meant to keep the sanctity and purity of the game intact, and then there are just rules that are meant to rob the fun out of the NFL. Seriously, the NFL at times seems more focused on the players making them money than the players actually enjoying playing football. And no rule better personifies this than the various rules against certain touchdown celebrations. So allow us to show you banned touchdown celebrations in the NFL. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Number 8. The various acts of Chad Johnson. Without a doubt, Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, was a great wide receiver who at times was way too much of a showboat and a diva, but mainly just a showboat. And the NFL seemed to find him a lot over the years as he would continue to do celebration after celebration that was too prolonged or choreographed, and so on and so forth. For one example, in a 2005 game, he went and caught an impressive touchdown pass, but then grabbed a pylon and started to play golf with the football, and that constituted a flag and a fine. Then another time, Chad decided to get really choreographed with the celebration and made sure that a camera crew and cheerleader were staged so that after he got a touchdown, he would go into a fake proposal tour. People weren't amused by this, and neither were the NFL, so yeah, he got fined. Again. Chad never seemed to care though, a theme that'll be prominent throughout this list, that is a promise, because to him, the money was a non-factor. It was about him having fun, and that's one thing that Chad Johnson definitely had. Number 7. Nate Burleson. This one is definitely a more low-key offense, but it's one that the NFL takes offense to apparently. One-time Detroit Lions player Nate Burleson decided to not just wear an undershirt under his jersey, which is not a violation of the NFL rules for the record, but to go and write on that shirt the phrase, "What up, doe?" after getting a touchdown, showing it off to the crowd, which is a violation because the shirt didn't represent the NFL and they're very specific about that. However, that wasn't the only penalty that he would get, as he would later go on and get a touchdown and celebrate by punting the ball into the stands, which is most definitely a penalty and a $15,000 fine. This is why you don't see most NFL players lose the ball in their celebration, because if they do too much, they'll find themselves getting fined. Number 6. Delaying the game. Now this is a complicated one, so we'll break it down for you. There was a time when team celebrations would get you a flag and a fine, but the NFL has thankfully lightened up on that. However, the overall rule of using these celebrations to delay the game is still a crime. So if you do a team celebration and it only takes around 10 seconds, yeah, that's fine. But if you go and do one that takes like a half a minute and it's just gratuitous, yeah, that will get you a penalty. They don't mind the team celebrating together, but keep it short and sweet or else. Number 5. Violent movements. Here's one that is a bit more straightforward, because the NFL has many priorities that it tries to maintain, but one of the biggest is making sure it's acceptable to young fans. So if you want to roar at the sky after you score a touchdown, epic, by all means do so. If you want to pretend to fire a gun or a bow and arrow or stab the ball and so on and so forth, nope, that's a penalty, and some players still do that for some dumb reason. Number 4. Randy Moss. Not unlike Chad Johnson, Randy Moss was another one of the more colorful wide receivers in the NFL, due to his antics both on and off the field, which of course included his touchdown celebrations. For example, during his initial run with the Minnesota Vikings, he was doing a playoff match against the Green Bay Packers, and after scoring a touchdown that basically sealed the game for them, he went to the edge of the end zone and pretended to moon the Packers fans that were there. Announcer Joe Buck was in the booth, and when that happened, he called it a disgusting act. And the NFL apparently agreed because they fined Moss $10,000 for that. Now, you could argue that the NFL really did overreact here, as he didn't actually moon the fans, and it's well known that the Vikings and Packers are heated rivals. Plus, they were also in the playoffs and on and on. The fine didn't really warrant what was going on in the field. And later in life, Randy noted that while he understands why the NFL fined him, he wouldn't change what he did if he had the chance to go back. Number 3. Terrell Owens. Are you seeing a pattern here in regards to some of the people who are getting a lot of fines for excessive celebrations? Yeah, it's guys that were known to be a bit egocentric and kind of divas, and that perfectly encapsulates this player, Terrell Owens. Owens may go down as one of the best wide receivers ever, but his various antics and performances, both on the field and off, make him a rather infamous character. And when you have all of that personality, you can bet that he won't be holding back on the touchdown celebrations, of which he's had a lot in his career. Such as in 2007, when the scandal about the New England Patriot tapings came out. Owens was with the Dallas Cowboys at the time, and decided to hide behind the goalpost after a touchdown and film the other team. The NFL didn't like this, and they found out that the celebration was pre-planned, and thus fined him almost $8,000. Which Terrell Owens blasted in an interview saying, "You can't do anything anymore," which was later proven by Terrell Owens himself, because after facing his old team in the Philadelphia Eagles and getting a touchdown, he whipped out a towel that he himself had made and was waving it around in celebration, which again is a violation of NFL rules about non-approved items being shown off on the field. Terrell Owens really lost it on this one, citing other people's violations and that it wasn't fair he was getting fined for something so small. Number 2, dunking the ball over the post. Now, this particular foul can't be attributed to one player or another, as many have done it over the years, but there's little doubt that you recognize this play, for it's when a player gets a touchdown, picks up the football, and proceeds to dunk it over the rim of the goalpost. Two of the most known players to do this is Tony Gonzalez and Jimmy Graham. One time, Graham did the dunk so hard that it actually bent the metal of the post, which is why the NFL would go on to make that a foul if it was done today. Many players literally cried foul, as it had been done for many years without consequence, but Commissioner Roger Goodell made his thoughts clear in that it was illegal to use the ball and the goalpost as a prop, and that hasn't changed. Tony Gonzalez, who ironically retired just before this rule was made, said that he felt it was sad that they got rid of it. Number 1, Antonio Brown. We could do a whole list of things about Antonio Brown and the various antics and crimes that he's done both on and off the field. But trust us when we say this guy was a world-class talent who ended up being a world-class diva, world-class jerk, and then some. He's out of the NFL now, and we should all be grateful, but one of his most infamous ones though was after scoring a touchdown and deciding to pull a Miley Cyrus by going and twerking in the end zone, which was certainly something. Yeah. The ref was right there when it happened, and he was more than happy to throw a flag, and Brown got seriously fined for it. Just in that year, for all the various celebrations he did, he was fined over $100,000. His response to the fines? Money is nothing to a boss. Right, a boss who would later be arrested and charged with various crimes, a boss who floated around a couple of teams before being kicked out of the league after raking up suspensions, and a boss who is only back in the league now because Tom Brady wants another competent receiver on his team. That boss? Yeah, be quiet, Antonio, or the next fine you get won't be for only a couple of $1,000s. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the various touchdown celebrations that have been banned by the NFL for one reason or another? Do you understand why some of these touchdown dances and moves are banned? Do you think that the NFL are being overdramatic about some of them? Do you wish that some of them weren't banned? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.